Welcome to the Sacred Rebellion, the space where truth isn't filtered, sovereignty is sacred, and rebellion is a return to self. This isn't just a podcast, it's a remembering. We are here to break the trance of comfortability, reclaim our gifts, and rise as the embodied rebels we were born to be. Here we journey with the wild hearts, the way showers, and the visionaries who chose their truth over comfort, their mission over their fear, and their soul over the system. This is where the coded ones come to speak, the ones who didn't fit in because they were never meant to, and the ones who turned their pain into power and their story into their medicine. So drop in, take a breath, and let's remember who we are, one sacred rebellion at a time. Welcome back to the Sacred Rebellion, the space where sovereignty leads, systems are questioned, and the cosmic truth always finds its way home. Today's guest is not just a healer, she is a multi-dimensional force. Kathleen is a psychic intuitive, energetic alchemist, and an embodiment mentor who helps lead leaders unlock their soul gifts and channels the frequency into real-world impact. Her journey began, like many of ours, burning out in life that didn't match her truth. But instead of breaking down, she broke open. Through years of deep energetic training, quantum recalibration, and fierce devotion to her own awakening, Kathleen has become a powerful space holder for transformation, and she knows for weaving ancient wisdom with her galactic remembrance, guiding her clients through identity shifts, nervous system repair, and energetic alignment with who they actually came here to be. If you're trying to build a soul business while healing lifetimes of suppression, if you've been asking, what am I really here to do? This conversation is going to activate something within you. Let's dive in. Welcome, Kathleen, to the show.
Wow, Michelle. I was going to say, what an intro for your intro to your podcast. And then you wrote that one about me. Like, dang, girl. What an intro for both. You got it going on.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have kind of a niche of writing. I feel like that's kind of a niche of mine, but
yeah,
keep
going. Whatever you're doing, it's working.
Well, let's dive into it. Welcome to the show. What was the moment you realized your old life no longer fit your soul?
I love telling this story. And for people who are familiar with me, and they probably heard this story like 5 or 6 times now, but I never do psychic awakenings or immersions in like a slow, gradual process. Mine are always like, bam, here it is. Bam, here you go. So for me, it was, I heard light language. I heard someone speaking light language. Just to set the scene, I am a nurse practitioner at this time. I'm working full time in an urgent care. My husband is an executive at a high corporation. I have 2 young kids and I'm just miserable. Like I have everything in my life. I'm supposed to have the house, the car, the kids, the job, the career, I've sacrificed so much for this life. And I'm like, what now? What next? And I didn't have a path forward of what next. And I was just so burnt out. And I was scrolling. I saw this thing for a quantum leap meditation. I downloaded it. I heard light language and I felt this entire force move through my body, chills on my arms. I started crying big crocodile tears for what I considered no reason. Why am I having this reaction? And a memory surfaced of when I spoke light language when I was 8 years old in the Catholic Church, and people are like, what is she doing? I was speaking in tongues. Yeah, it was just this remembrance of oh my gosh, what is this? Why do I feel this way? And it catapulted me into a huge journey of self-discovery that has led me to where I am now.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. And you
wild.
say that, I think people say oh, I want to have that type of reaction, or I want to have that. It's that's just what it was meant for me. Whenever I had my awakening of my psychic gifts too, it was a bam on, quantum travel, bam on. That's just how my nervous system works. It's dependent upon the person and their journey and how it'll show up. But yeah, that was mine.
Yeah. When I started speaking light language, I didn't know anybody who spoke and I thought I was going fucking crazy.
Yeah. I know.
I was like, what is this language I'm speaking?
What is this? Yeah. And there's too, unfortunately, what I define light language as is energetic frequency transmitted to physical sound. It's just a way that we can use it in this dimension, or a way we can take energy and transmit it into this dimension that can be seen, heard, and felt by people, again, in this dimension. Unfortunately, if you were just Google light language, the people are channeling different things in different entities. It can be if you don't know anybody that's speaking it and you're not sure who to follow, it can be a weird rabbit hole you go down in the internet. Because I've seen broken frequencies, evil frequencies, deities, and it's not anything wrong or bad. It's just just know where you're getting your alignment from, know where you're getting your source information from.
Yeah, I think it's just a radio frequency that shifts. For me, it was like all of a sudden this antenna in my third eye just shifted and I could start to hear things. And, it was during mine was like during 2022 when, we had like the Ukraine war and that kind of stuff was going on. And
Mm.
so I started like being able to shift in dimensional spaces and I was like, what is happening? I have no idea. And I didn't have a mentor at the time. And so I was just like, really confused. And I think
Mhm.
that's where, a solid mentor or someone who has experienced these experiences is very important. And
Oh yeah.
I know that's something that you do is like mentorships and really, you guide people in this aspect to help them be guided in a place. And I think it's really important. I love how you touched on knowing who you channel because that's a really big issue right now in the spiritual community is like who are you channeling and why are you
Yeah.
channeling them and what's their
Yeah.
purpose?
And there's no like judgment to it. Like I believe it's like all part of the journey. Like, we are everything all at once. So we are the full spectrum of light and
Mhm.
dark. And so everybody has a purpose and a journey that they're on. It's just important for you to not you, but anybody who's listening,
Yeah.
like if you're being called to be pulled towards light language, or if that's like something that's calling you, it's like, okay, before you follow anybody and their mother on the internet, what feels good to you? Like listen to your heart and let that pull you to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
PSA.
Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah. And I think it's, my light language shifted when it was about probably like a year ago, or a year and a half ago, when it was like, I would actually start to relay the frequency into verbiage. So I'd speak the
Mhm.
light language and then I'd be like, this is what it's moving. This is the emotion that's coming forward. This is what's being recalibrated. This is da da da. And that's just like another level of light language. But it's interesting because I can always tell when there's density because I'll be in the grocery store and all of a sudden my light language will just start going off and my
Yeah,
hands will
yeah,
start moving and I'm like, okay, there's density. Put your hands
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
It's also why I grocery pick up often because it's like I go into a grocery store and I'm like, there's so much
Yeah, there's
shit
a
in
lot
here.
going on out there.
So yeah, so I love that light language triggered with you, and I think it's I just want to touch on like if you feel called to share your light language, you don't ever know like that person that triggered your entire expansion where you're at today. If she hadn't shared or he hadn't shared that experience with
Mm,
you wouldn't have been triggered like you have, right? So it's like
for sure.
that sharing for the listeners that are listening, sharing your gifts, and I'm getting full body chills, sharing your gifts, sharing who you are. And even though like you're gonna always have online bullies, I'm just stay out of the damn comments. Like everybody just stay out of the
Oh, yeah,
comments.
yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I actually don't get any more bullies, and like I'm saying that now, but I do. So this is something that I teach and I really embody. It's like you are always getting reflected back to you
Mhm.
any internal beliefs that you have. So in the beginning, like when I was showing up online speaking light language, that was a big part of my awakening in my business and like development and who I was calling in. I did have a lot of haters, like put her in the psych ward, schizo.
Mhm.
How did I end up on schizo talk? Like all that kind of stuff, and I just had to keep like
Yep.
embodying it. I got threatened with lawsuits because I used the word prism once, and it was like, this isn't even hold up in court. Like this isn't, I have lawyer friends, like this isn't even legal. They're not even making sense. Why are they trying to send me cease and desist letters? But it was because I had all these like beliefs that I had to work through and fears and projections that I had to work through. And now I share light language left, right, center.
Yeah.
I'll be doing it like at my friends' houses and parties. I'm talking to executives about it. I'm leaning into this world, and none of that happens anymore because it's like what you're saying is like, this is the ripple effect to change that I'm meant for. This is my mission. This is my purpose. This is my soul calling out to other people and calling them into my vortex and into my sphere. Therefore, I must show up as this version of me, always authentically, truthfully, and peacefully. And all that other bullshit, all the comments, all the things that are
Mhm.
going to show up in your vortex, it's just a reminder and a reflection that this is just something that you're working through. This is just a
Yep.
fear that you're projecting into your reality because you are that powerful. You can create your reality. You will create negative comments if you believe that they will come to you. And if you don't have that belief, then guess what? They stop coming. It's magic. It's miracles and magic around here.
Yeah, I love that. And I love, yeah, I mean, for me, I had a client, she was like, I went viral and then I had all of this stuff happen. And I was like, stay out of the comments. Like if it's not positive, I'm just like, meh, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I don't get a lot of that either. yeah, I was on a podcast and I had someone share something about, I don't believe we landed on the moon. Haven't since I was like little. I never bought the story. And they're
Mhm.
like, they like just went off of like what I look like, what I sound like, you're crazy and all the things. And I was like, huh, I've like never in my own page, I don't get that. Like, so it's
Yeah,
interesting that someone else had that experience, but I just looked through it. I'm like, huh. And the guy was like, stay out of the comments. And I was like, it didn't even like jar me. It was just like, well, whatever, dude. Like
yeah,
this is how much work we have to do with the collective. Is like the bullying is real as adults. Like it's not fake. Like we've
yeah.
got
We're
to
all
work.
just unhealed kids, like on the playground. Just like
Oh,
now we have
100%.
jobs.
Yeah.
Now we have jobs, and like we have a microphone, we have podcast
And
equipment.
a keyboard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What did stepping into your psychic gifts or spiritual gifts really look like for you?
I love that because it's kind of from what we just talked about. It was a lot of fear. It was a lot of working through fear, stepping into my power, stepping into my purpose. It was a lot of tension in my relationship. My husband and I are soulmates, and it was like this thing of who the fuck is this girl? I'm sorry, I didn't ask. Can we swear? Can
Oh,
we swear?
totally. Yeah,
Okay.
very good.
Yeah, it
I
was like
already said
who
the F
the
word
fuck
once.
is this? Like I married a career-driven nurse practitioner that wanted to have 2 kids and like climb the ladder with me, and now she's like saying she wants to climb a spiritual ladder. She's saying that their guides are telling her she's going to be a multimillionaire. Like this is like sounds like schizophrenia. It sounds like something is happening, and he was very worried. And it just triggered a lot about my parents, like in their marriage and their parents' marriage, and like all this stuff about who am I, what am I owning, what space am I taking up, and what am I calling into my vortex? What is my frequency that I'm holding consistently over and over. And yeah, I'm not going to lie. And I've talked about this before. It almost broke my marriage. It did because it was like he had to shift and I had to hold empathy because a lot of people will go through their spiritual awakening and then they'll look around and be like, keep up. Like, why can't you accept me? Don't you love me? He's holding me back from my awakening or he's holding me
Mhm.
back from my spirituality. And I'm just here to encourage anybody who's listening. It's like, okay, well, listen, this person, I said he because that's my situation. He, she, partner, whoever.
Mhm.
This person married someone else, and
Yeah.
that's okay that you change. But let's have a little empathy as they catch up. You hold the frequency of the life that you desire, the relationship that you want to have, the person that you want to be, and the person that you're embodying, and hold empathy for space for those in your life that have to catch up. But if
Mhm.
you hold your frequency long enough and say, I love my life, this is my person, I'm here for this is exactly what I was born to do and the way that I was born to do it, and this person is meant to be there with me on this journey, I know it, I've never been more sure of anything. They will rise to the occasion. They will understand. They will begin to change and shift and revolutionize their way of thinking. And you don't have to do anything. Your job's not to fix them. Your job is
Mhm.
just to hold the frequency and hold the space and understanding that they're going through it with you.
Yeah, I love that. And also realize that the mirror, right? Like I'm married to a soulmate too, so we get a lot of that mirror work, right? Like
For
that
sure.
reflection. and
Lucky
and
us.
but you don't see a lot of married people in the spiritual community either, or people who stay with their partners through their awakening
Mhm.
experience either. So go us, right?
Yeah.
And so I completely agree with you. And I ruffled some feathers over the years of saying exactly what you just pretty much said was my husband didn't marry me either, the person I am today. Like he did not
Yeah.
marry that version of me. And I completely shifted and moved into a different space and things that I didn't, things that I thought were normal in a relationship, like codependency and having your spouse fix your problems and your happiness determines by your spouse. Like all of those
Mhm.
things are common issues in marriages, especially when you start to awaken and then you see that and you're like, whoa, I can't unsee that. Like that has to
Yeah, yeah,
change,
yeah.
right? But I think a lot of it has to do is like the reflection that you see in your marriage is a direct reflection of your own belief system.
For sure. Yeah. And like, what are you
Mm.
believing about yourself? Like, what do you believe about your capacity to love, to expand, to change, to be in love, like, it's like, do you love yourself first? Like,
Yep.
and if you love yourself first, if you love yourself so much, like nothing can shake you. Nothing can shake you from this like foundation and trust that you have within your gifts, your kindness, your empathy, your compassion. Nothing can shake you, not even your partner. And
Mhm.
they will rise. Like the divine masculine wants the opportunity to rise with you. They will rise. But yeah, that would be what I consider to be one of the hardest things that I went through with my psychic gifts. A lot of people probably think it's the appearance of demons or angels or like, fairy and dragons. Like that was all like a little bit like, whoa, that happened, But again, it's like goes back to this
Yeah.
unshakable trust that I have in myself and my intuition. And I did so much deep work of, I love myself so much, nothing can shake me. Maybe my relationship shook me a little bit, but then it came back online. It's like
Yeah.
that was the most difficult part of understanding that you get to have it all. You don't have to pick and choose. You don't have to leave one part of your life aside to embrace another one. It's like, no, I'm a multidimensional being. I get to have it all.
Yeah. I'm a creator.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you brought up the fact that, I'm not saying neither one of us are sitting here and be like, oh, our marriage is cupcakes and roses all the time.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not, right? Like we're in a relationship. But the thing is I think one of the most beautiful, profound things is if you look kind of like in Yeshua and Mary Magdalene's relationship, like, and you actually channel their true story, was she awakened first and she helped him. That's at least what I believe. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think the feminine, by energetically holding that Kundalini serpent energy, she awakens the masculine. I'm getting full body chills. She awakens the masculine with her willing to love and show him the love and that reflection of, I love myself. I'm giving you permission to be a man, first of all, be a man,
Yeah.
which is really, I see a lot in spiritual community is women not allowing or giving the opportunity for the man to be the protector, right? In the physical reality. Like I can do this on my own, this hyper diligence of independency. Like that's a trauma response. We have to allow the masculine to essentially hold that space for us.
Sure, yeah. And even within too, like so say you're
Yeah.
not in a partnership, like you have divine feminine and masculine energy within you. The feminine goes first. The feminine goes for the intuition. So feminine, receiving, intuition, love, compassion, nurturing. They go first. And for many women, we've been used to shutting that part of us down and like bold, leader, direct, like take care of. And that's fine in some instances. Of course, we have to have both when we're leading ourselves through a spiritual led business, but the female goes first, the divine femininity goes first, and then the masculine has the opportunity to catch her, to hold her, to support her through it. And just like you said, like we have to give them the opportunity. We have to give ourselves the opportunity to let the feminine go first and allow the masculine to hold us and catch us.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this conversation because I think this is such a needed conversation in the spiritual community in relationships. Like everyone wants a divine
Yeah.
partner, but do you know what that looks like?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of it, I think that was something I channeled, not this round, my last round of Super Creator. It was like this understanding of like, it's so give yourself some grace. Like, we not only have been like, we're in our wounded feminine and our wounded masculine, but like men too need so much grace. Like, where has the role model been for us, for them? Like, I think many women sometimes we like claim that we wanted, like you said, we want a divine partner, but like, are we doing the work? Are women doing the work? Are you the person that is ready for the divine partnership, or are you still in victim mode? Are you still in
Mhm.
blaming mode? Are you still like waiting for someone to save you? It's a delicate balance in a conversation that's more nuanced than not, but it is like, just everyone, just we need to give a lot more grace to like everyone going on in their life and their business and their soul path, and remember and recognize that there's not one correct way to do it. There's not one correct path to walk, and we each have our own journey. Which is why, sorry, I'm like rambling, but this is
No,
why I
you're
love
good.
the quantum, because it's like something that keeps coming up for me more and more. It's like, why would that strategy work for you? Why would that funnel work for you? Why would that relationship advice work for you? That's not your life. And so many people just want like a copy paste thing on their life. And it's like, no, you have all these divine gifts, qualities, and talents. You are the person meant to bring this together. So you have your own unique energetic signature that's ready and waiting to be brought into this world. Why would you depend on anybody else's? Go and tap into future you, quantum you, choose the timeline that you desire, the energy that you desire. Ask her how she did it. Ask her how he did it. And then pull that information back with you and begin to walk and act like that person. Then watch it drop in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of my favorite things to do is to
I know, it's
gather
so
that.
easy.
It's
It's
fun.
so easy. I think that's so funny. Like, it's like, even in relationships too, it's like Why would that advice work for you? Why would this? It's not going to work for you. You already know what to do. You just have to like tune out the noise for a second, tap into your soul. And it's like, what do I need to do? What's my next move? Do I want peaches or strawberries for breakfast? I don't know. Let me ask.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think making choices, I think is also really important. I think that like that's actually something I brought up to my spouse the other day. I was like, it'd be really lovely if you just would tell me where we're going to dinner. And he's like, you don't want a choice? And I was like, sometimes no. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's nice that you just take the reins and you just tell me, hey, we're going to go to dinner at this place. And I'd be like, whew, that would turn me on.
Like, yeah. Put me in the car. Roll me in there.
Yeah, I'll be in the car ready, and I'm just gonna sit here. You're gonna tell me what I'm gonna do. Like, take initiative. And if there's a masculine listening, take initiative. Take like this is what we're gonna do. Like, women love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, giving the man the opportunity to lead, but giving the woman the opportunity to soften too,
Yes,
to
yes,
be
yes.
led.
I love that. Yes. What are the biggest misconceptions you see about healing and shadow work in the online space?
I like this. I love this question. My biggest misconception is that you need to do it, but not like in the way, like I think, of course, we need to do it. We need to take responsibility for our healing and our shadow work. But unfortunately, people get caught in this loop of like, okay, I'm feeling, what do I need to heal? What do I need to do? What's the next thing? Do I need to go back to my lineage? Do I need the past life? What crystal do I need to pull in? Let's ask the cards. Like, no, bitch, move. Like, go and like pull out whatever energy is blocking. Oh, I feel energy blocking me. Boom, go.
Yeah.
Like go and move through it and regulate your nervous system and have those tools. And you can always go back to it when you feel like, okay, I actually do need to recalibrate. I actually do need to come back to my foundation and my basis. But it cannot be the crux of your life. It cannot be something you always come back to. It cannot be something that you lean on and depend on because then you're just nurturing the same trauma response that got you there. You're still like looking for something to save you. You're still looking for something to like fix before you go forward. It's like, get the foundation, get the basis, then begin to move. Then begin to recognize your potential and continue to move forward every single day. Your business, I love talking about this for business too, because like your business, your programs, it's a separate energy. It's a separate entity altogether. You are channeling as the divine vessel that you are, your programs, your courses, everything that needs to come through you. So yes, we have to take care of our vessel, but we also have to understand that we will never be fully healed. We will never be full perfect because we are human. We are imperfect creatures as they are. Number one imperfection about being human, we have to sleep. That's like 8 hours gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like we are just not perfect. We will always need to rest, heal, and repair, but we cannot let that healing cycle continue over and over and over. Get the foundations, then move.
Yeah, I love that. I always tell people healing does not have to be hard. I mean, obviously I'm sure you're in the same boat where you have like these moments where you're like, holy crap, I can't unsee this. I've got to move through these things. I've got to go back to
Mhm.
these spaces. But sometimes it's like, where'd that trigger come from? Where does that from? Like, where does that come from? Where is that in my
Mhm.
body? Like, and I think one of the things you touched on was like pulling energy out of your body. If I always tell people ground, clear, and shield your energy daily, sometimes multiple times a day. For me, anyways, I don't know about you, but like, I feel like that's just like something I get every morning. But when I wake up, I open up my eyes, I'm like pulling energy out of my body, moving the energy, flushing my chakra systems, grabbing energy back, bringing all fractal parts and pieces into this space, shielding my field, and then I start on with my day. And if that means like I wake up with like a bad dream, shower, whatever, it's like if you have basic foundational rituals or structures in your daily, like that's like non-negotiable for me. Meditation
Right.
and shielding is non-negotiable for me just because I'm super fucking clairsentient and that's like
Yeah.
I have to. And sometimes I get done, like I even sleep on grounding sheets and I'll lay down and I'll be like, whew, that was a day. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna tick that off. And I think that's another great point. And like that would be my second thing is like one of the questions I ask people all the time is like, where are you giving your power away and where can you call it back? And unknowingly, a lot of times people give their power away to a healer. You innately know how to heal yourself. You just know. You can do it, lock the door, put yourself in a bedroom, lock the door and just listen to your body. And if you feel like you need to brush your arms, brush your arms. If you feel like you need to go like this, go like this. Like whatever you need to do, you already intuitively know how to do it. So don't give your power away to a healer over and over and over and pay them whatever hundreds and thousands of dollars to be healed. It's like, get the foundations, get the tools, have your own rituals, and then come back to yourself. Come back to the understanding that you know how to do this. You have known, your DNA has ancient healing tools inside of it, waiting to be activated, waiting to be remembered. If you feel like you can do this yourself, you can. And that is like your superpower.
I love that. Yeah, I'm a huge advocate of not codependency healing because I just
Yeah.
don't agree with it. And I think that you can be on the receivership end, like some people want to have that receivership end, but I think mentorships should never be longer than a year. You should not work with the same person, over and over and over again. You need to like work with yourself, learn your own tools, learn your foundational aspects. And that's like a red flag for me when someone's like, "Oh, I've only worked with this person and they told me that I am like they're the only person." I'm like, "Oh, that's a red flag." It's like bark,
Yeah.
like gross. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think
think
getting perspective too, right, from other people and other healers. Like I think support's helpful, but yeah, it is about like getting a different perspective from somebody else's tools.
yeah. And part of our job is like earth leaders, earth new leaf, new earth leaders is that it's not our job to fix people. And I think that's
Sure. Yeah.
the huge piece too is like, I'm going to fix you. It's like, I tell my clients all the time, your life can transform in 6 months in this mentorship, or it may not. It's all about your choices.
It's all up to you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just the mirror, right? I'm the
Yeah.
mirror for their brilliance. It's like sometimes you just need someone to mirror it back to you.
Yep.
Especially for me, mentorship was so big in the beginning because I live in a world like suburbia. I got like one friend who like knew I was psychic and it was just not a safe place. And so what am I supposed to do? Go out there and say, "Hi, I think I'm going to start a psychic business. Like, what do you guys think?" Looking at that point in my time, I was looking for external validation. And it would be like, "What the hell are you talking about, girl? Like, that is wild. Don't do that shit." So it's like having a mentor in the beginning too, to just like mirror back your brilliance to you and say like, yeah, you're here for a reason. There's a
Mhm.
whole other wave of new earth leaders that are coming in, upgrading the frequency,
Yep.
calibrating the codes, making sure that the grid is secure and able for more and more people. Again, back to that ripple effect. The ripple effect of change is moving and moving and moving. Yes, you are so needed. Your gifts are so needed. And just having that someone to go back to you and say like, you got it. You've
Yep.
got it is
Yep.
so helpful.
And there's enough work for everybody. That's what I always tell people. Competition is
Oh
not
God,
needed.
yeah.
There's so much work for everybody. In fact, there'll be times where I'm like, yeah, that's not really my expertise. So I'm going to send you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
so and so, like, I mean, that's just kind of how I work. I'm like, yeah, this isn't, I actually think you'd work better with my friend so and so, or, vice versa. And I get other people like, hey, I think you've got a lot of subconscious work. You should work with my friend Michelle, And so it's like
Yeah.
everybody, that's what community is about. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. Like once you get to that level of consciousness and unity of realizing like I have my beautiful genius and you have your beautiful genius and we can share. It's not about ownership and clients.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's no lack. There's no lack of clients. They come out of the woodwork. It's like what? Like some of them don't even have social media presence, like or like a friend of a friend of a friend referral. It's like there's no lack. This work
No.
is so needed and it ripples and ripples and ripples.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. You talk about frequency and embodiment. How do you define those in your work today?
So frequency, I would define that. I think that's a good that you put those together because it is a good distinction. Like frequency, you don't see, it's a feeling, it's an energy, right? So what I like to say is like the life that you desire, the business that you desire, it simply exists at a different frequency. If you can see it in your mind, I think Bob Proctor says it, a lot of people say it. If you can see it in your mind, if you can feel it in your heart, it's done. Like so it's not about like if it exists, it's a frequency that you're vibrating at. And then so your frequencies need to find each other. When we talk about embodiment, embody in your body. To hold the frequency, you have to embody the frequency. You have to take D actions. When we look at frequency as D different dimension, you can't see, hear, touch, feel, taste, smell. I said touch twice, but you can't, the five senses are only in the 3D. The 5D, you can't see it or feel it unless you can see it or feel it in your mind's eye, right? Go into the clairs. So when you want to embody the frequency, you have to take 3D actions. You have to ground that frequency in this dimension. It's just science. It's just the physical part of this work of taking the actions. So frequency that you desire to have a $5 million in your bank account. Okay. As the version of you that has $5 million in your bank account, living this life, living this new earth frequency, this new earth leader, living in full expression of your gifts, what are they doing? And it's not about like, oh, well, I'm doing 100 tarot readings or I'm doing this course. It's like, what are you doing every day? Like, what time do you wake up? What books are you reading? What is the company that you keep? What are you wearing? How often do you brush your teeth? What are you eating? What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? That is how you embody the frequency of the life that you desire. And when you do it often enough, when you tune into future you, when you see the vision, you know it's yours, and you're moving and you're taking the aligned actions and you're embodying the frequency of that which you desire over and over and over, you will become that frequency that you desire. You will become that person, and you will know that it's yours because it will drop in. Frequency finding frequency, quantum leaps happen in the small, minute moments throughout your day. And when you take those small 3D actions over and over and over, it will drop in out of nowhere, and people will ask you, how did you do that? I did it by brushing my teeth. I did it by eating oranges. I did it by spending more time in the sunshine and going on a daily walk. That's how I did it.
It's daily habits. Makes a big difference.
Yeah. And it's all about like, I think sometimes you can get into this, like maybe like not debate, but discussion. Like, is it your reticular activating system? Is it your brain's mechanism? Is it all woo woo spiritual? Is it, fake it till you make it or believe you can and you're halfway there? It's like, it's all of it. And some of it is magic. And in my world, we talk about the magic. We talk about timeline collapse. We talk about your ability to be the creator of your life, to create everything you want by merging all of these physical, non-physical things into one to embody and welcome that frequency into your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it's always interesting when you start to play in the quantum fields. I feel like it just becomes so different than when it's like an expansion. I always feel like it's like this expansion in my head when I start to play the quantum fields and manifest things into my physical reality. And it's actually kind of fun, to be honest with
you. It's super fun. Are you kidding me? You can like bend time, collapse timelines. Like you just like, sometimes I imagine myself like I'm in the attic and I'm seeing me and I'm like, oh, do this, do that, do that. And then it all comes together. And for my clients too, we're like, okay, what is it? What do you need? What is it showing you? How is it? How are you doing it? Boom, boom, boom. Watch it pop in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super, super cool. How does the nervous system healing tie into energetic magnetism and psychic expansion? I actually really love this question.
Is it a trick question then? Do you already know the answer?
No. I just love talking about energetic magnetism because it's actually something I've been playing with recently is energetic magnetism. And I feel like it's often in the spiritual community, it's like, oh, you're not getting the clients you want because your messaging isn't on cue, or well, you're not getting clients because your aesthetics on your Instagram aren't where they need to be, or you're not getting clients because you just aren't holding the frequency. And it's like, no, it's your fucking magnetism.
Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, of course. So all those.
It wasn't a trick question for sure. It was not.
Yeah, no, it's not a trick question. But all those things you mentioned, you're right. Those are like 3D metrics of success, right? Those are external validation. And it's like your nervous system, your ability to regulate your nervous system, your ability to feel into how are you feeling today? How are you attracting your success? Are you able to take those steps and to embody the frequency of that which you desire? It all comes back to your nervous system regulation. And I love this question because I am a nurse practitioner. I do have a lot of 5 years as a cardiac nurse working with heart attack victims, ICU, people with open heart transplants, and then 5 years in an urgent care where it was like, people come in with this multitude of problems looking for a quick fix, And so now in this work that I do now, I see it all the time. It's like actually every single problem is a result of nervous system dysregulation. It is a energetic frequency. It is something that we need to address. And I think will be the next frontier of medicine, of merging nervous system with energy. Because when you can regulate your nervous system, when you can physically see the spinal column and the innervation that occurs throughout your physical body, and you can see the midline that determines left versus right, again, masculine versus feminine. And then you can understand that when you regulate your nervous system, when you stimulate your vagus nerve, when you open up your chakras and your energetic healing, and you allow yourself to be rooted as above, so below, as within, so without, these physical and energetic structures become the lightning rod for magnetism, become your frequency holder and your placement. And it's the evolution and integration of both that qualifies someone as the magnet for success, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have some people that just do nervous system regulation, but they don't do the energetic work. You have some people that do energetic work, but not regulate their nervous system. And there's a disconnect. It's working, but it's not quite the way we need it to be. The electricity is not moving the way it's supposed to be. And cerebral spinal fluid that goes up and down the spinal column and protects your brain, it's kind of an unknown fluid in our body. We don't do much testing around it because ethically to test, we would have to do a spinal tap. And that is a very invasive procedure that can cause brain and meningitis inflammation. So we don't do that. But if we could, and if we did, and one day I hope that we will, I guarantee that we would see something in regard to positive and negative ions and those who are regulated and those who aren't, and their ability to ground, their ability to magnetize success, your ability to attract clients and to go viral, or whatever it is that you're calling in.
Mm-hmm.
It is a full system integration that must occur for the magnetism to really hold true and to take effect.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah. And
Yeah, that's
I've
my
even
big
seen that.
science brain.
I've seen that in my own physical like healing. Like I've done a lot of subconscious work and now I'm really working on the nervous system because I feel like it's like you can do all the subconscious work you want, but if you don't feel safe in your body, you don't feel safe in your body. And being
Yeah.
clairsentient, has been one of the biggest healing spots for me. And like being vulnerable on here is like that's been the biggest, hardest, most challenging aspect of my healing is feeling safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a time where I realized that I didn't feel safe in my own house. It's my house. I own it with my husband. But because in my childhood home, and no fault to my parents, they had a lot going on,
Yeah.
I felt safest in my bedroom, right? It was just like, I'll
Yep.
just go there, then I won't be whatever. And so I did this exercise where I went to each and every individual room in my house. And I just did what I thought would I was like, what feels good? Again, going back to being your own healer. And sometimes it was like rolling around in the room. Sometimes it was eating a snack on the couch, which I wasn't allowed to do in my house, or like, whatever it was that like I was able to develop a sense of safety. So the subconscious work allowed me to realize what was going on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel it was safe to come to the conscious awareness. I don't feel safe in my own home because of this. Okay, that's only half the battle. Now I have to regulate my nervous system to feel safe in my own house in the way that I know how to do it. And after doing that, it's like, whoa, this full expanse and like foundation of me, because my home is me and I am my home, settles down, and then you're able to call in even more regulation, even more.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that? If the clients are trying to look like someone listening right now, if they were looking to regulate their nervous system, what does that look like when they work in your world? How do you help with someone with that?
That's a good question. I feel like, so I have my program Super Creator, and we talk about this in the very first module because it is kind of the basis of everything that we do. So many people come to work with me because they're like, I want an intuitive business. I want a quantum intuitive business. And it's like, excellent. I want you to have one, but we got to start here first. We got to start at the root chakra. We got to start at developing safety and security
Mm-hmm.
in your own body first before we can ever project anything else onto your clients, onto other people. Like, what do we feel safe in? So we do breathwork sessions. I do a method called rapid energetic recoding, where we take the energy, move the energy, and then backfill it into your aura. I run by the principles of medical school teaching. So see one, do one, teach one. It's no gatekeeping. It's like you have the capacity when it's in your conscious awareness to do that. So we work in that way to really recode your aura and recode your energy. And yeah, a lot of vagus nerve stimulation and making sure that our vagus nerve turns back online and comes back online safely.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think that's really, really important for so many people to listen to. And I feel like that's a big thing going on in our collective is really understanding even how to regulate your nervous system and how to regulate who like when you feel those energies. And I think, for someone like myself who has always been super clairsentient and felt everyone's crap and all the things, it's years of feeling unsafe in my own physical reality and moving through that. I used to brag. I actually said this to a client the other day. I was like, I used to brag. I used to be the peacekeeper in the family. Like, that's what I had to do. I had to be hyper vigilant and make sure that everybody was happy, because if everybody wasn't happy, then I had to feel it and then I had to fix it. So it's like that energy of, and I think a lot of people may even get trapped in this, is like, as someone who has been gifted their whole life, having that control of wanting to fix the energy around you so that you feel safe. It's so big.
It is so big. And like I feel like most people who have that, like they're psychic their whole life, or they are deeply psychic, they have deep trauma. They have deep
Oh,
integration that must occur because it did require you to be hyper vigilant. It required you to fix everyone, to make everyone else feel safe. And so you were able to pick up on cues before it happened. That way you were able to move through it faster and you didn't have to suffer the consequences.
hmm
So it's like a blessing, curse, whatever you want to call it. It's
yeah, I
just a
call it
part
the
of the
empath
journey.
curse. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, the empath curse. It's like it's everyone's like, oh, I want to be have all these gifts, and I'm like, but do you? Do you know what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
feels
yeah.
like?
How much
Yeah.
trauma you got?
Yeah, how much trauma do you have? Like, yeah, I agree with you because I've talked to quite a few people that have been gifted their whole life, and they have the same story. They're like, oh yeah, I was like hyper diligent about making sure that everybody felt safe, and was kind of like the mother role, for everybody. And I was like, oh, that's how I was too. That's very interesting. That's a great trauma response,
Mhm.
Michelle.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
So,
It is, but I think that everyone is psychic, so it's like not about the trauma badge that you have or that you wear. It's like everyone is psychic, and those gifts can be on life. You had a beautiful childhood, and you feel so safe in your body and your life, and I love that. Like it's so amazing. Like imagine the impact you can have, like
yeah,
because you are regulated, because you don't have that to work through. And but that being said, like you also are psychic. Like your
yeah,
intuitive gifts are
sure.
still there and able to be turned on and come
Mhm.
online and use them in the way that you need to use them in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone just has different like psychic abilities, like for me it was I felt everything and I could feel everybody and I can feel in people's bodies and been able like that my whole childhood and I didn't understand it. So that was like a whole trauma to unpack. Right. And I
Mm,
think that it's an interesting, I have a daughter that's super, super sensitive and my son is too. He pretends he's not, but he really is. And so but yeah, my daughter is super gifted and she speaks to dragons and all these things. And I love the fact that she doesn't have to hide it. I always tell her, I'm like,
yeah.
you're so blessed that you don't have to hide that you talk to dragons and that you speak light language and have since you were 3 years old. And I don't have to have you turn that off because you can do it however you want. And she knows her gifts. She knows, and she's developing them as she is growing up. And I love that she
Mhm.
has that ability to not have to turn those off because I had to in order to stay safe.
Sure, yeah. We're doing a lot for this generation.
Yeah, right? Like parent different. That was the other thing I was telling a friend the other day. I said, what a difference that I parent my children compared to what my parents parented me. And, it's like I told her, I said, and then my children will be like, how different am I going to parent my children different than my mom parented me, even though it's like 370, completely 360, completely different of, just completely different than what my parents did. It's just what they knew. We're like
Sure.
blind pilots flying in the air in the fog trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah, I just hope I'm not messing them up. That's it. At the end of the day, I
I
just
was
hope I'm
like,
not messing
if
them
you
up.
have trauma, I will own that shit.
Yeah. I'll go therapy with you, whatever you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, whatever you need, I'll be there. Yeah, 100%. Where I feel like if I have that conversation with my parents, it's more like, well, I did the best I could. It was like, I understand, but this is how I felt. And so I think it's just really,
Brave of you to have that conversation.
yeah, yeah. Well, I needed some answers. So I was like, I,
Yeah.
I did a hypnosis and this came through. Did this really happen?
Sure.
My mom's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, actually it did happen. I was like, wow, okay. That's
Okay.
pretty messed up.
Sure. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So let's go back to the questions. Do you work with guides or specific energies in your work, and what does that look like for you?
I don't work with like specific guides all the time. I always set the intention of being completely aligned and rooted in my truth and my divinity and sovereignty. And then many of them will come through. I work with the Arcturians. That's a what people call like an intergalactic type of race, alien, whatever you want to call it. I think what my understanding is what that they were trying to show me is that as we ascend as a species from 3D to 5D, we're in this ascension process from subconscious to conscious to super conscious. Someone helped them. And so they are helping us. do that as well. Jesus comes through to me often to talk to me about, disrupting and how religion has distorted things and how to get people back to their divinity, back to their sovereignty. Water into wine was a timeline jump. Rising from the dead, timeline jump. Lazarus rising from the dead, timeline jump. These are all timeline jumps that he was doing and showing people how to work with different timelines and frequencies in the quantum field. So he comes through often, but mostly I have, several of my own spirit guides that come through. Just like I have one lady that comes through just when I'm in mothering mode or I'm about to deliver my baby. One, a warrior that comes through when I'm about to face something difficult. But typically I don't quite work with a specific guide. I really just set the intention of my sovereignty, my divinity. If something comes through, then I work with them. Archangel Raphael gave me the details for my mastermind, You Are the Oracle, which is a 12-month mastermind for the high-level entrepreneur. So it's really just dependent on what is the goal, what are we achieving together, and I work with them to merge that 5D 3D bridge.
I said the other day I actually was working with Merlin, and I've never worked with him before, and he came through, and it was really interesting because I love magical stuff, like that's kind of my vibe. Yeah, it was really interesting, but it's not like I'm a lot like you. I don't work with like a specific guide, or I don't work with a collective of beings. Like I work with mantis beings when I do a lot of nervous system recalibrations, but it's not like I constantly am like, oh yeah, I channel XYZ, and I don't even showcase that in like even my work. Is like I just flow with whatever comes forward, and that's kind of how I work too. I'm very similar. Just whatever comes forward.
Again, like we're the vessel, like our soul knows the mission. We're just the physical vessel. So it's all about keeping my energetic and physical system in check and in alignment and rooting myself in my own truth and my own divinity.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's really important, is really realizing that's such a key. I feel like that's such a key point in channeling or whatever. Is like you have a mission, your soul has a mission, and you have soul family, and you're connecting with various people, but realize that you're still you. Stay sovereign, stay in your space. Like you don't necessarily have to channel someone in order to feel secure, unless that's your mission. But I think it's for me, I'm very similar to you in that aspect of, I just work with whoever comes forward.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like that's even too, like, don't get into the comparison game of like,
Oh yeah.
like there was this one person when I first started my journey and she was like, I'm channeling this, I'm channeling that. And I was like, well, I don't do that. Like, am I even a real psychic? And then of course it comes out different pieces of her story, different pieces of my story. It's just, we are all on our own path, and it's all coming back to your ascension, your sovereignty. Like, what are you here to do? Blinders on, like, this is what I'm here to do. There's nothing that can stray me. I love myself so much, nothing can shake me.
Yeah. And I think that self-love is a huge piece for a lot of us. That's really like the inner joy, the inner peace. It's like, that's kind of where I've even said that the other day. I was like, nah, that doesn't bring me joy. I'm not doing that. That doesn't make that fun. Sorry.
That's a no.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's where I'm at in my life. I'm like, that doesn't bring me joy. No, thanks. We're not doing that.
Yeah. Getting rid of that people pleasing tendency too. Of like, no, I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. What's one unfiltered truth you wish more healers or spiritual leaders would embody?
One unfiltered truth? I would say probably like, you're fucking human. Like what we were talking about. Like you're still yourself. Like there is so much out there. It's like Instagram's already so fake. Like YouTube's fake. It's getting more hyperbole over and over and radicalized over and over in favor of the algorithm gods. And like what I teach and embody and show people, it's like, no, it's already done. Like when you can listen to your soul guidance and your truth and know that it's done, it's done, it's done. The algorithm doesn't matter. The clients are going to find you. The contracts have been written. Your bank account's been paid. It's about your vibration at your frequency. And when spiritual people, and again, like there's no judgment. It's just not something I can do. I can't not show up as a human. I'm a mom. My kids are 4 and 6. When I started my business, they were like just turning 3 and 5. My husband has a busy schedule. I didn't have childcare. It's like, I can't show up in a bathing suit in Bali and say like, love and light, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm a mom. Like I live in Detroit, Michigan. It's like cold and gray half the time. Like this is it. And it can exist at all levels. Like you don't have to live a life that's for the algorithm or like this. Like I'm a human being having a human experience. And sometimes when my guides are coming through, boom, boom, boom. Like when I started my business, all those other things, my son was not sleeping. I was still up like for 4 years straight, still now almost 5 years up every 2 to 3 hours every single night. Right. And I had to go to work. It's like no, I need sleep guides. Like I cannot receive this galactic download right now because my physical
Mhm.
body needs to rest.
Mhm.
And an understanding that like that is just part of it. This is who you are. This is your soul knew this. This is like part of your mission. It doesn't make you more or less of a psychic or intuitive. And if you have that soul vision, if you have that soul desire, it cannot be wrong. It is meant for you in whatever capacity that it is going to show up, in whatever capacity that your physical body can take it on. Like, I'm being honest and real. I'm a human with human things going on. And I'm a very psychic, intuitive, spiritual, quantum master and being. Like, this is just, both can exist.
Yeah, that's me too. Like I have two kids. I mean, they're obviously older, but my 13-year-old was the worst sleeper ever. I mean, he still doesn't sleep. I mean, I'm like, I don't even have a bedtime for that kid because I'm just like, go to your room. I don't care what you do.
Just leave me alone for a
Leave me
second.
alone. Just,
Talk about nervous system regulation. Nothing's taught me nervous system regulation more than my youngest. It's just like he used to like wake up every 2 hours, then he'd like bolt out of bed and be like, "Who's your favorite Paw Patrol? Mine's Chase. Yours is Sky, right? Mom, because you're a girl. You like pink because you're a girl." And I'm like, it is 4 a.m.
totally sounds like a little boy too.
I know. Well, I have two of them. It's like I'm just like, oh my god, like yeah. So he's been a big teacher for me, and like healing like my path. I was the same way. My husband and I joke. I was the same way. I'm annoyed with him because he's just my mirror. He's just mini me, and it's like understanding and healing that part of me, healing that part of my lineage, learning how to regulate my nervous
Mhm.
system in the midst of chaos because I'm doing both and being both, and like that is just the honest truth. I am not in Bali. I am not swimming in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I'm not having like beautiful try-ons for my photo shoot. All my pictures you see of me online, it's like me, an iPhone, a tripod, and like a filter. And for every beautiful picture I take, there's 4 of them where my kids are knocking the tripod over. So it's just part of it. It's just life, and it's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, same. Like
Yeah.
I'm not,
Interdimensional. It's
yeah.
like every part of me. It's like I can't
Yeah.
deny
I'm a
that
mom. That's my
I'm
number
not
one.
one or the other. I'm all of it.
Yeah, yeah. Number one, I'm a mom. I also have a child with medical conditions. So that's, that changes things too. I'm not running retreats because I can't leave my child with people because I can't do, there's certain
Yeah.
aspects of my human that I just, that's where I'm at in this phase of life. And is it going to change? Yeah. My kids are getting older. So yeah, it does definitely change when they get a little bit older and when they're young, like what you have. It's tough. Like it's a lot of hands-on, structure but we're all where
It's
we're
a
at.
lot of feeding. I'm just feeding all the time, just feeding.
Yeah,
Like it's like it's like
I called
from when
myself
they're
the
born, like
snack.
stop eating so much.
Yeah, I think my kids were like 1 and 7, well 1 and 6 or something like that. And I told my husband, I was like, I need a shirt that just says snack bitch.
Yeah. You don't know if that ever stops. At least in my house, it doesn't stop. They're 22 months apart and they like are about the same height. And it's just a lot. I'm just feeding all the time. There's so much cooking going on in my house.
Fun.
Yeah. But
Well,
that
they're a fun
is
age
like,
too.
again, interdimensional. This is something I wish like an unfiltered truth. It's like, no, like we are all human too. And we have spiritual missions.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So if someone's listening right now and feels like they're on the edge of remembering, what do you want them to know?
The edge of remembering. Well, if you're on the edge, then you already know. I want you to know that whatever you think is true. One of the very first thoughts I had before I ever even heard light language, and my friend was asking me about being psychic, it was like, she was like, so how did you know you were psychic? Like, how did you like develop this gift? How did you do it? I was like, you know what? I had a choice, I guess. Like, I can either trust that what I'm seeing is true, and every time I verbalize it and speak it in a reading or whatever it is true. It's always been true. Or I can hear and see images and visuals and whatever needs to come through. And then I can gaslight myself and say, don't say that. That's not true. Don't, take a minute. Like, don't want to be crazy, whatever. And then I become my own worst critic or my own worst enemy. If you think of intuition as like a friend, if every time they spoke up and said, look at this, if you do this, you'll be great. If you do this, you'll be rich and famous. You'll have everything you've ever wanted. And every time they spoke up, you said, shut up, sit down, not right now, maybe later. Let's run it by a couple people first. That friend would eventually stop speaking to you. They would
Mhm.
eventually wait and to come out until it's safe again. And so if you feel like that, if you're like on the edge, like, am I one of these people? Am I gifted? Do I like you do? And every minute you spend doubting yourself and saying these things to yourself, like maybe later, maybe when it's safer, that's coming up for me a lot with like people in my vortex is like, oh, it's not the right time. It's like, okay, And I'm not here to convince you, but like it will never be the right time unless you make it the right time, unless you give yourself the permission to move forward and claim what is yours, because it's calling you, it's knocking on the door. Your soul calling will keep calling.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So trust yourself, love yourself,
Yep.
just listen.
Yep, I agree with that. That's a beautiful piece of it's not the right time. That's just your subconscious blocking you from your magnetism energy. It's just that
Yeah.
that that it's just a block. And I don't even like to use the word block. I don't use that very often, but it's just essentially just you've decided to believe the lie that's not
Yeah.
truth. Yeah.
I used to do these free like readings on lives, like Instagram lives, and I do them every now and then, but definitely not as much as I used to. Because the number one question I always got was like, I just feel like something's blocking me. What's the block? And it just got to the point where I was repeating the same thing over and over for different people. I was like, all I see, and this was truly what I saw, is it's like you have a brick wall in front of you, but it's just like this big. Like it's not, it's like only the width of you,
Mm-hmm.
and you just keep running into it over and over. Like you are the block. Like
Mm-hmm.
walk around that block that you're putting in front of yourself. And I just got tired of saying that same thing over and over, because for most people, when they're like, what's the block, what's the block, it's like you are the block.
Yeah.
You are running, you are creating this, and that's okay. But like you need to do a little like deep dive introspection into like, why am I blocking myself, or why do I not feel safe?
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say though is I have 2 people, 3 people, a couple people in my vortex right now that are either about to have a baby or just had a baby. And I'm not there to tell them yes or no. But if they're like, I don't know, I think I want to wait till I'm out of the newborn phase, I'm like, okay, I will check in with you in 2 months, because that is a whole other thing. I don't want anybody to make a decision when they're 2 months postpartum or like just about to have a baby.
I 100% agree with you. It's a whole vortex
Yeah.
the first year of that baby. It's like, I know, I mean, and if you like, for me, I nursed, so it was like, you never
Yeah. Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
have a baby on you. Oh, I completely agree with that. It's like
This is again back to like the 3D versus 5D.
talk about. Well, if someone wants to work with you, what's up next, and how can they find you?
Well, I'm most active on Instagram, but every platform you can think of it, I'm the Quantum Psychic. So Kathleen Pitt, the Quantum Psychic, quantumpsychic.com, all those different things. So quick Google search will find you a place where you use social media. I keep 2 standing offers all the time. I have Super Creator, which is like my flagship quantum program, 6-month energetic realignment, getting you into your quantum intuitive business, pulling the codes and frequency, like I said, of that future version of you, bringing it back. You're tired of the messaging, you're tired of the strategy, it's not working. Like it's because it needs to fit your blueprint of success. And then You Are the Oracle, which is my 12-month mastermind for the high level entrepreneur, one that's been doing business, one that has a successful business, and it's just not soul aligned. You can just tell there's an emptiness inside of you. That we go deep, deep down into like quantum time bending and angels and demons and the Bible and Christ consciousness and all these amazing, amazing things. So those are my 2 offers, and they will run forever, because those are just what I'm here to bring to the world.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today inside the Sacred Rebellion, where truth is sovereign, healing is holy, and your voice matters. If this episode sparked something in you, share it, speak it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let it ripple through the quantum. The revolution begins within, and you're not alone in it. Until next time, stay rooted in your power and rise in your remembrance.